Do you ever feel like breaking down? Do you ever feel out of place? Like somehow you just don't belong and no one understands you? Do you ever want to run away? Do you lock yourself in your room with the radio on turned up so loud that no one hears you screaming? No, you don't know what it's like when nothing feels alright. You don't know what it's like to be like me, to be hurt, to feel lost, to be left out in the dark, to be kicked when you're down, to feel like you've been pushed around, to be on the edge of breaking down when no one's there to save you. No, you don't know what it's like. Welcome to my life. Do you want to be somebody else? Are you sick of feeling so left out? Are you desperate to find something more before your life is over? Are you stuck inside a world you hate? Are you sick of everyone around with the big fake smiles and stupid lies while deep inside you're bleeding? No, you don't know what it's like when nothing feels alright. You don't know what it's like to be like me, to be hurt, to feel lost, to be left out in the dark, to be kicked when you're down, to feel like you've been pushed around, to be on the edge of breaking down and no one's there to save you. No, you don't know what it's like. Welcome to my life. No one ever lied straight to your face, and no one ever stabbed you in the back. You might think I'm happy, but I'm not gonna be okay. Everybody always gave you what you wanted. You never had to work, it was always there. You don't know what it's like, to be hurt, to feel lost, to be left out in the dark, to be kicked when you're down, to feel like you've been pushed around, to be on the edge of breaking down and no one's there to save you. No, you don't know what it's like to be hurt, to feel lost, to be left out in the dark, to be kicked when you're down, to feel like you've been pushed around, to be on the edge of breaking down and no one's there to save you. No, you don't know what it's like. Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life.
It was just another story printed on the second page underneath the Tigers' football score. It said he was only 18, a boy about my age. They found him face down on his bedroom floor. There'll be services on Friday at the Lawrence Funeral Home. Then out on Mooresville Highway, they'll lay him 'neath the stone. How do you get that lonely? How do you hurt that bad? To make you make the call that having no life at all is better than the life that you had. How do you feel so empty? You wanna let it nobody knows. Did his girlfriend break up with him? Did he buy or steal that gun? Did he lose a fight with drugs or alcohol? Did his mom and daddy forget to say I love you, son? Did no one see the writing on the wall?
Well, Erica, tonight family and friends gathered to remember Philip Parker, a young man they say that every time he walked through the doors here at Gordonsville High was bullied. But tonight they say more people are to blame for his suicide. They say the staff here did nothing to help. Gina Parker describes her son, 14-year-old Philip Parker, as a happy child who tried to get along with everyone. A young teenager, she says, was relentlessly bullied because he was gay.
That I loved him more than anything else in the world. And now I gotta leave without him. I shouldn't have to bury my baby. I shouldn't have to. Now I gotta go make funeral arrangements. I got to pick a casket for my son because some bullies decided they wanted to pick on him, made him take his own life.
She says each day in school he would be subjected to physical and psychological attacks from other students, which ultimately led to him hanging himself Friday evening.
They hit my son, they teased my son, they pushed my son, they called him names. That's not acceptable.
Friends and family gathered to remember Philip Parker and to draw attention to bullying, a problem they say exists at Gordonsville High School, and claim faculty and staff are doing little about it.
He went and talked to teachers, and they wouldn't do nothing. They made fun of him, and it's just that, and they ain't here. There's no teachers here. The principal ain't here. They're all at a basketball game because obviously they don't care.
But Principal Annette Horde says her and her staff at Gordonsville High School are deeply saddened and never were informed that Parker was bullied.
No reports were made to me, and at this time, that's all I can say with my statement. Nothing was brought to my attention.
Okay.
But if there's anything, and we're looking into all avenues of the tragic loss of this student.
A crisis management team will be on hand Monday to help students with the loss of one of their own. And we are hearing that on Monday, Philip will be laid to rest. Meanwhile, Principal Horde says they will conduct a full investigation into the bullying claims. And ironically, tonight, about 20 minutes away in Cookeville, an anti-bullying conference was being held to help students and faculty deal with bullying. The Bully-Free Conference was held at Tennessee Tech and featured anti-bullying speakers, workshops, and presentations, as well as support for victims of bullying. This was just the first conference, but more than 150 people showed up. Organizers say they hope the conference brings new understanding to the bullying problem.
Well, we are hoping that the epidemic of bullying that reaches across all of the realm of education from kindergarten through 12th grade gets addressed, because right now it's almost a silent epidemic. It's never been addressed in a conference like this where it's the sole focus. And today we've hoped that we've addressed so many different aspects, from the social stigmas to how to intervene.
And organizers say they believe that more conferences like this will help save lives, the lives of young men and women like 14-year-old Philip Parker. Erica, back to you.
Unfortunately, his death shows that there is a need for this. Thank you so much, Erica Schaefer, live in Gordonsville tonight. A two-man race.
Welcome back to Prime News on HLN. This one's hard to fathom. A 9-year-old boy, a 4th grader, committing suicide. His name's Montana Lance. He was called to the office at Stewart's Creek Elementary School in Texas on Thursday. It's hard, you can see those pictures. It makes it more hard to fathom. He asked the nurse to use the restroom, locks himself in. She gets a key, opens the door to find him hanging. She tried to revive him, but it was too late. Again, a 9-year-old, dead, committed suicide. I want to bring in Dr. Brenda Wade, clinical psychologist. You can always check out more of her thoughts at docwade.com. Brenda, let's just start there. How does a fourth grader come to that point, Brenda?
You know, Mike, there's one thing we all have to understand about emotional distress, and that is that children can and do get depressed. And it's highly likely that this little boy was depressed, and such a young child, but there are symptoms of childhood depression. And we need insight, we need skill, and we need to know how to interpret behavior, because children can be very impulsive. And one of the things we want to look at, if you're a parent or a teacher or a guardian or a grandparent, anyone around a child, and you see the child going through mood swings. One minute they may be up if the friends are over, but then you notice they're quiet or they're withdrawn, or they're acting out and very angry. That's a child who is suffering some kind of emotional distress, and as adults we tend to think, oh, they'll get over it. It's important to intervene. If you suspect something is wrong, where there's smoke, there's fire with kids. Get in there, talk to that child, intervene, try to find out. Now, unfortunately, this poor nurse is probably never going to forgive herself, but it would have been good to say, you know, why do you need to lock yourself in the bathroom? Or somehow stop that child and look closely at that child's face. But Mike, I do hope she'll forgive herself. I'm sure that she did the best she could, and I just cannot say enough about how sorry I am for the parents of this little boy.
I agree, Brenda.
And the other children at the school are going to need help.
Yeah.
This is very traumatizing.
Let me get to the statement from the school. And then the school told us that the nurse checked on him. It wasn't like he was, you know, she continually checked on him. How you doing? You okay in there? So there was feedback, I guess, while he was preparing himself for this tragedy. Here is a statement from Karen Permetti, Public Information Officer, giving us this, saying that the Stewart's Creek Elementary School staff handled this tragedy with professionalism and acted swiftly in working with the student, family, and emergency responders. The details leading up to this tragedy will remain confidential and will only be shared with the family. And also writing, there is no direct correlation between this tragedy and any incidents of bullying. And that goes to your point, Brenda. We hear something like this. What was going on? What may have led to, say, a depression or a mood swing? So those are the factors we're looking at here, right? As you piece things together.
Yeah, but the other thing, you see, we always have to look, what was going on at home? What's the family history? Is there any chance that this child was being abused by a neighbor, a friend of the family, even the parents? We don't know. We don't want to blame and cast aspersions, but we do want to seek to raise our level of insight when something happens so that we can prevent it in the future. And that's the most important thing, is to prevent these tragedies, Mike.
Yeah, you're right, Brenda. That's why one of the reasons we do these, to find out. We ask the questions, well, what went on with this little guy?
Right.
So if we see similar warning signs, we can prevent this from somebody else.
Well, we are seeing younger and younger children acting out in ways we never imagined possible. And I want to say on
Why,
record,
Brenda? Let me stop.
There are two factors. I believe there are two factors. One is we're seeing more instability in families, in homes, in relationships today than ever before because of the economy, because of the distress a lot of people are feeling. The other factor is that younger and younger children are exposed to very violent video games with content that I would shudder to have an adult watch on a regular basis. We just covered a couple of days ago, remember, Mike, the story that children are watching as much as 52 hours a week of TV and sitting in front of a screen. A lot of that content is not uplifting, and it's not teaching our children how to handle problems and feelings.
Great points, Brenda. And that age group, by the way, 8 to 18, and this little guy falls in there. We're not sure again. We're just beginning to scratch the surface on this story.
Now, I'm not blaming anybody. We all do the best we can. I know hindsight's 20/20. But I still don't understand. How do you get that lonely? How do you hurt that bad? To make you make the call that having no life at all is better than the life that you had. How do you feel so empty? wanna let it all go. How do you get that lonely and nobody knows? It was just another story printed on the second page underneath the Tigers' football score.